Welcome to another vlog or podcast, however you want to put it. Real life with Roadblock. And with me, I have my son. And we're going to go over topics in the news today on Yahoo. I just lost you. Are you there?
Technical difficulties.
Well, this is my son. I've been wanting to have him on for a while. And so here we go. We're going to do a full length, 30 minutes. We're going to keep it at
Train wreck. This is
more
not
technical difficulties.
I work.
Hey, like I've always said, this is a learning process. I'm learning everything, and you're all pixely now. Anyway,
all right.
So one thing on Yahoo that I see every day when I'm going through it that I don't understand is why we care. Oh, anything we say here or talk about here is our own accord. We have no affiliation with anything or anybody. This is just shooting live and going as we go. But all our opinions are ours, and so yeah. But anyway, on Yahoo, I see every day they've got 4 or 5 different not ads, but topics of women wearing clothes, like 7 incredible photos of UFC fighter Paige Van Zant in Mexico. And then it has teen moms Leah Messer rocks bikini top and thong during night out after Jalen Mobley split. Katie Sackhoff disrobed for a good cause and new bathtub photo shoot. 6 stunning photos of Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn in Puerto Vallarta. Jesse James Decker rocks an itsy bitsy bikini in new photos, causing fans to something. But I don't get it. Why do they got this? Why do they have so many freaking topics of women wearing scantily clothes? Sex sells or what?
I mean, yeah, it has since forever. I mean, yeah, sex sells. Like as much as people want to act like it doesn't or say it doesn't, it really does. Because I mean, at least kind of from my thoughts, like it tugs at one of our baser instincts, which is to have sex. And
why
as
would
much
that
as
be?
people,
Why would that be a topic, though?
well, okay, so the news's job is to report facts, as truthfully as they're able to, but that's not the case. They want to give us those kinds of headlines and stuff to excite us into like, oh, okay, what's going on with this? And then so we dive deeper into it. Like Billie Eilish, she's a singer. She got famous before she was 18. And then as soon as she turned 18, she was sexualized. Like it's as much as people don't really think it's there. Like it's there in everything, music, TV, because they even talk about it on the news, whether it be TMZ or any one of them.
Yeah, TMZ's for real for sure.
Yeah, because they're just there. Um, uh, And so they'll give us the headlines that excite us and make us want to read their article or see the pictures that they're talking about, just so that way we can just satisfy that curiosity, but in turn it also sexualizes the person or thing it was about.
Right. Um, So a little bit about, I should have started with this. Duh. Um, Garrett and I, we got a great relationship. We've had our hardships, to say the
Hindsight's
least.
2020, and we both wear glasses.
um, just Garrett's a great kid. I'm proud of him,
I try.
and I try. You always say that.
I try.
Hey, an 11-year-old student drew a pig. School officials confiscated the work for being inappropriate because the kid drew a tie and it looks like a pair of balls in the dick. Yeah. Are you on your phone or the tablet?
I'm on the tablet. Am I still grainy?
Yeah. Grab your phone and look that up. Go to Yahoo headlines. See if you can find it on your phone.
Um, okay. I was gonna say I could try to reconnect to see if it clears up. Because you're looking a little grainy on my bit too.
It could be the recording. We'll figure it out.
We'll see. Okay. So kid gets that is not the first thing I would expect to see on Google.
Right.
So while I'm looking up that headline, top Google search for kid get. Uh, First is kid gets crushed by an elevator.
What?
What? Yeah, I'm not kidding. Let me see if I can do this. Oh yeah, it's down here. Kid gets
Huh.
crushed by an elevator. Just with kid get, it's like, why is that the first thing?
There is
And
no good news anymore.
the second thing is his kid gets 15 cops fired. I'm not gonna lie, I'm real curious about that one. I'm gonna save that for later. That's awesome. Oh, there's a YouTube video. Okay, sorry.
But yeah, it's a pink
Yes,
pig.
out.
It's wearing a tie, and it looks like a dick and balls. And it says, "Is it a necktie or is it boy parts?" Many parents on TikTok are calling it out. Here, maybe I can show you the picture. Do you see it?
Oh, what? No, that straight up looks like a pig.
Yeah, but they're talking about the tie.
Oh, I can't see the tie. Any of those just you can forward them to me
Oh,
on
look
the
below the pig's chin or nose.
no, it's because it's grainy.
Oh, is that better?
I was gonna say any of those, just shoot them over to me on the book face.
Um,
Sorry, did I throw you off with the book face?
yeah, you did.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh, yeah, I got it. I mean, that does resemble,
but look at the tip.
but
If you're gonna call it, that looks more like it. Well, looks like both, but I've never seen a tip like that on a penis. But I don't look either.
that's like a rocket ship crashing down. Just looking at it.
An
He's
11-year-old
excited.
boy.
He's saying hi.
But the 11-year-old, according to her mom, told her teacher that she drew a bow tie, not boy parts. That's not a bow tie.
She's 11. She doesn't know what kind of tie it is. I can't even tie
True,
a bow tie.
right? Frickin' snitches. All right. You pick a top. What's the next headline you want to talk about?
Well, at least they removed the write up. It looks like the school officials agreed to remove the write-up. Oh, she was going to get a write-up for it? What? Man, I would not survive school. Okay, just because I saw it, I gotta see this 15-year-old gets 15 officers fired. Oh, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure I'll need it. Block. All right. So headline is 15-year-old gets cops fired. Michael Franchik arrested. Um, a 15-year-old gets cops fired. A 15-year-old teaches law enforcement a lesson. As a result of this interaction, these cops are fired. On Rebel HQ, um, they break it down. Uh, in a video recorded by the father and the son, it is seen that the police were quite harsh on the father and did not give him a chance to speak. The reason the police had to visit his house was because of a complaint made by a neighbor. Uh, their neighbor's son was riding a gas powered bicycle, and a neighbor yelled at him and threatened to beat him. When the father came out, he and the neighbor got into a quarrel. Another neighbor called the police to file a complaint and mentioned that the father had a gun. Um, this complaint was aired on all police radios. Took place September 29th, 2019. Uh,
Hold it.
they came
2019
and
is
they
5 years ago.
2019 is not 5 years ago. It's 4 years.
4 years. All right. I'm bad at math.
Yeah. It was a little under 4 years ago. Um, Police officers came and knocked on the father's door. When he came out, he was holding his phone and recording the incident. So were the officers. When the father asked about the situation, he ran back inside the house and said that the police had entered his house without a search warrant. The officers grabbed the father and started to drag him out of the house. While doing so, they tased him 3 times. The son was recording everything that was happening on his phone. Uh, the father was arrested on counts of interfering with a police officer during arrest and failure to disclose identity. Uh, After the father's arrest, the police questioned the son about his gas powered vehicle and the fact that he needed a driver's license. The son was very aware of his rights and said that if the power is 50 cc and below, you have and you have a permit, you don't need a license. Once the police were done interrogating the son, they moved aside to discuss amongst themselves. Their body cameras recorded everything, and also them admitting that the father had a permit for his gun and was allowed to carry it around till he did not threaten anyone with it. Uh, According to the complaint, no one said he threatened anyone with his gun. 4 days later, went to state prosecutor who refused and passed it to the Park City Municipal Court. The court wanted to avoid conflict, so they sent it to Salt Lake City. After a year of the case filing, Salt Lake City changed the charges against the father. If the father is convicted, he may have to go to jail. Toward the end of the investigation, this turned into a novel.
You could say that.
Towards the end of the investigation, Officer Rodriguez was charged with 5 counts of a misdemeanor. The sergeant with 3 counts. The officers were, and Officer Weir was charged with 1. As the city issued a statement, stated that the entire police department had to attend training. The sergeant and Officer Rodriguez failed to correct their behavior in the given time frame and were fired.
Huh.
Yeah. Didn't really say how a 15-year-old got him fired, but
Right.
see, just like that, headlines. they got me excited with that headline. I was like, "Oh, this could be a juicy story." And like, yeah, it sucks for the father and the son having to go and see that, but you know, like like I said, they make it more exciting than it is, or they give you a topic that uh makes you overly curious about it. So then you go in it and you're just like, oh, okay, that just sounds like a really bad altercation that, a son had to witness his father getting tased.
Right. Yeah, I go down YouTube hell, I call it, and TikTok hell, and I
Oh yeah,
find the
I do
weirdest
too.
things. But
I
here's a
can't do
topic I
TikTok.
wanted to talk about. Oh, you can't?
Uh-uh. I installed
Yeah.
it on my phone for one day and all I did was just watch it.
So there's a dude on TikTok he always does live. He's got dressed up as a cop in full gear. He's got the helmet, but everything is cardboard. In fact, I saw him the other night. He had real night vision goggles. He took them off and they're the four ones that come down over the eyes. And
Yeah.
he took that off and put toilet paper rolls as the night vision. He's got like 6 pairs of scissors in his cardboard bulletproof vest, and he doesn't talk. All he does is breathe. He had like 600 viewers.
Okay.
It's
I mean,
like,
there's people that watch people sleep.
I don't get it. I just don't. Oh, shit. Um, but I do have a topic that is a good one. The Brian Coburg allegedly killed those students in Moscow, Idaho, and he has a PhD, I think, in criminology from WSU. So as I'm thinking about this in my head, is he going to drop a bombshell and get off? Or is he just stupid because they supposedly did find DNA at the crime scene on a knife sheath, but they haven't found the knife, and they're thinking the knife is up in the woods somewhere.
Okay. So I saw that article too. The fact that he has a PhD in criminology. Here, my little take on that, that almost makes it worse for him because with him having like, I hope he didn't do it for the fact that, it means that he did do something terrible to people. But, if he did do it, yeah, I hope he gets punished. But
You hope he
uh,
didn't do it. You know how many people, if I was on if I had so many followers, I would get blown up over that statement. That's
no,
one thing that I'm not looking if my channel builds, that's one thing I'm not looking forward to is getting my shit blown
so
up.
here's the so no, if he did it, yes, absolutely, punish his ass. What I mean when I say that I hope he didn't do it is because it means that he actually went through with like murdering four people, which is a terrible thing. Uh, and so it means that he went out of his way to go do that. And I know there's people out there like that, but you know, it it's just one of those things like you just kind of like say I went and did something like that. You'd be like, I hope he didn't fucking do it. It's
You're
kind of
right.
like that. But I mean, obviously, he and I don't have that kind of connection that you and I have. But still in the same instance, yeah, I'm always devil's advocate on the stuff. I'm always on the fence and get my own thoughts on it. But
You just made me go down the rabbit hole.
how so?
If you were to do something like that, how would I respond? You're my son.
Yeah.
I love you, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like, I guess I would support you until the court did its thing. But I'm sure if you and I had a talk in private, you'd tell me if you did it or not. But I'd never say anything anyway because you're my son, you know?
Yeah.
Is that wrong? Yeah,
Well,
I couldn't do
even
it.
so, here's the thing. Even if I did go and do something like that, I wouldn't fucking tell you. Even if I am sitting there shackled and like they know I did it, I would never tell you I did it.
Good. Yeah, because then I'd be an accessory after the fact.
Well, not even so much that. It's just like what is that going to do to you emotionally? That's going to make you stop and think, where did I go wrong? You know, you're going to take a close look at the situation to try to figure out why I did what I did
Right.
if I were to do something like that. But then also like if I tell you I did it, you're going to sit there and question everything.
Right. I see your point because I'm one of those that ask a million questions because
Mom
I
would do the
want to
same
know
thing.
because I want to help. You know, this is I really don't like this subject we're on right now. It's kind of fucking freaking me out. But
These are the kinds of
Cobra's either
conversations that we have.
I know. My son and I have a morbid fascination with things and we talk in depth about things and that's what I love about my son. He brings stuff to light that I don't think of and you know, looking at if him and I were standing side by side, we have the beard and the mustache in common. He's 6'3" and skinny as a rail. I'm 6'2" and fluffy. How tall are you? 6'4"?
Yeah.
Jesus. I remember when he was born, they whisked his mother off to the emergency room to do an emergency C-section because they couldn't get a heartbeat. And I tried to follow him in there, and they said, "You can't go in there." And I had a fit. Thank God they got his heartbeat back. And you were 11 pounds, 9 ounces. And the first thing I remember is you know how I can spread my toes and pinch?
Hmm.
When you came out, the first thing I looked at was your feet, and your toes went like this. And I'm like, that's my boy. Oh,
I
shit.
mean,
Oh,
our
here's something
our feet.
go ahead.
Good.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say our feet are not that far apart from like a gorilla's foot.
Right. So, my son works in the restaurant business. He's a manager of a restaurant. And I saw this and thought about you. It's called ice is one of the rudest dining habits ever, and you might be doing it. I don't know what it is. Is he about to tell you that the way that he makes his sandwich is better than he's guilty of ice? Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. Oh, it's at a dinner party, not a restaurant.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I could still break that one apart. What does ICE stand for? Like, is it an acronym?
Um, I'm reading it here.
Because if it's New Age lingo, I'm out of the loop.
Here's the scene. It's an hour into the dinner party. You're hosting for friends. Most of your guests are on their second or third round of adult beverages and are tucking into the main course. Sumptuous grilled shrimp paired with grits, the latter of which you made yourself according to an old family recipe. Shouts of approval echo from around the table, but then you hear a very audible murmur. These grits are good. However, you know when I make them, I use real cream, not milk. Oh, I see what I don't know what I stands for. Ice is when a person indirectly asserts a dish they're consuming is lesser by listing their superior merits of another version.
Oh, yeah, that. So I hate that because, everyone does something a different way. That's, that we're everyone does something a different way. We don't always have the same ingredients or something like that. Like if you go to a ethnic household, they're definitely gonna have way more spices than what we'll have, or something like that. Like I have no spices. But yeah, that's just it's rude and discourteous
I'll tell you,
because
I'll tell you what's rude and discourteous is when I'm cooking dinner and I make a dish. It's like I made Guinness Irish stew, and the sauce was thick and it was meaty. It was wonderful. I had a bowl full with some French bread. And then I'm like, God, I want to go dip some bread in that sauce. And I went in and dipped it, and it immediately soaked into the bread. And I'm like, this isn't my sauce. And my girlfriend was sitting in the living room, and which we're no longer together. And I said, did you do anything with the sauce? And she goes, it was too thick. I added water.
oh, villain.
Yep.
Oh,
I told her, I said, please don't ever do anything to something I cook like that again, because it just made
oh,
I was so sad. I will not get that flavor
oh
back.
no. That is rough.
And then I've got another story. I made chili one time, and I was dating this other girl, and she reached up, she took a taste, and then she reached up and grabbed the cinnamon. And I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm going to put cinnamon in your chili. I said, don't you dare. Do not put cinnamon in my chili. If you want to put some in your bowl after you serve yourself, that's fine. But don't put any cinnamon in the pot. So I went to the bathroom or something, came back, I'm cooking, and I serve it up. My first bite. I looked at her, I said, you put cinnamon in my chili, didn't you? She goes, well, yeah, I snuck it in. When a man's cooking, don't add shit to his
Mm.
recipe.
You're guilty of that.
Uh-oh. What'd I do?
You're guilty of that. Oh, I made I made a salmon with pasta, and you put so much fucking lemon on that salmon. That was tart.
I don't remember that. I'm going to deny that one.
It was tart.
Where'd we cook it? Where were we cooking it at?
The place you're at right now.
Huh.
Yeah, I had gotten like a huge like salmon fillet, like it was a full size like salmon fillet.
Did I wrap it
And
in tinfoil?
yes, you did.
Okay. I always put a little
Yep.
lemon on tinfoil wrapped salmon.
It would have been
So I'm
great
guilty of it too.
for like a pasta salad.
All right.
Tart.
Guilty is charged.
You squeezed like two halves of lemon on it and then put four slices of lemon down it, wrapped it. You're like, this is
Right.
gonna be so good.
I know. That's what I do with salmon wrapped in tinfoil. I put tarragon, butter, squeeze lemon juice on it, and then lay lemon on top.
Let's just not talk about my early cooking, please.
Oh, shit. There was another topic. There was an Indian in the movie. What was that movie, the Kevin Costner about the Indians?
Dance with the Wolves.
Yes, Dances with Wolves. Remember the
I've never
youngest
seen that
kid?
movie.
You've never seen it?
No. But is it crazy how I could just name off the movie?
Right. Well, you're good at movies. You're good at naming them off. Um, so the Indian that played the youngest Indian that he saved, his real name is Smiles with Horses or something like that. He was just
That's awesome.
accused. He used to be a shaman and a medicine man in the Indian world, and he got excommunicado because he was um, sexually molesting the younger kids.
Oh,
So he's going to jail. Good for him. I don't. I molesting children. Um, no bueno in my book, and I know Garrett feels the same way. And I've never hit a woman in my life, and I never will, as I know Garrett never will. But kids are sacred. Kids are sacred. Oh, another one. The Bikini Booth. See Joey King's beautiful swimsuit pictures. Um, what do you want to talk about?
I could talk about anything.
Right. What's something that we've delved deep in before? I'm trying to think.
Mm.
Here's one. I've got a morbid thing to talk about. I am always interested when people get executed what their last meal would be.
So, yeah, that's interesting just for the fact of like what they would choose. But yeah, see, it's funny how like you view the situation that way. I view it as like not saying that it's a lot of food going to waste, but just how much folks have ordered because I've gone and looked at that too.
Well,
Just
they
because
they've changed it now though. You can only order what's in the kitchen. You cannot. They won't go out to KFC like um, the clown killer that killed all those kids and put them under. He ordered a bucket of fried chicken. I'm not going to eat a bucket of fried chicken before they fry me.
no, and I wouldn't be able to either, just because like when I'm nervous, hell no, I'm not hungry, and you get like it's coming. Like with natural or death or anything like that, it's just it happens. With that, it's coming. Like they give you the date, they give you the time, when your off button's going to get put. Hell no, I'm not going to be able to eat food.
Right. You know that in Japan they don't tell you when they're executing you.
That's kind of a mercy, but also that's very terrifying because you never know when your last is going to be.
At least so I heard. I heard that they don't tell you when they're going to execute you. They'll just come grab you, take you to the noose. I think that's how they do it. I heard that some Asian country has mobile lethal injection vans too. But anyway, I think it's in Japan. They come grab you, take you to the hangman's, and you're done. That's the way they used to do it in the old days in Europe. I've got in my morbid collection of antique stuff, I've got a peephole to the execution chamber for Nottingham Prison in England. And
What?
yeah, I've
When
got
the
it.
hell did you get that?
I was on I forget if it was Facebook or Instagram, but this guy showed it. And I'm like, holy crap, I want that. So I sent him a message. He said, no, he says, this is going in my personal collection. It's not for sale. And I said, well, I get first dibs if you sell it. Well, he must have ran into some money problems, and he gave me a message like 3 months later. He says, "Do you still want that eyepiece?" And I'm like, "Hell's yes." And he gave me a price, and I bought it. So I have a peephole from the death chamber from Nottingham Prison. It came with a nice little plaque and everything. So
Is he a descendant of Robin Hood or something? Like, how the hell would he get that?
I have no idea. It would have been from the 60s, and was it Nottingham Prison? I'll have to look. Something like that. But anyway, I watched on YouTube of a guy named Albert Perrault. I think that's his name. He was an executioner, and he did it famously. And I don't know who hired him, but he was executing 13 Germans for war crimes a day after Auschwitz got liberated. And how they did it was they had this room, and they had a bookcase in front of the hidden passage. So they'd take the condemned person in this room, and then the executioner would go lift up the peephole to make sure the person had the back to the door, and then they'd open the door. He'd go straight in, stand them up, tie their arms behind their back. While he was doing that, they'd move the bookcase, take them over to the hangman, put a thing over their head, the noose, and hang them. I think his quickest one was under 90 seconds from the time he opened the door and they were hung.
Damn. It's just like,
So
all right, come here, stand here, bye.
yeah.
Jeez. I don't know if I could ever be an executioner. I mean, I'm sure you did what you had to back then, and they did some rough stuff, but like that would not be the job for me.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah. So something I want to start doing on my whatever you want to call these podcasts, vlogs, or anything. There was a guy at the Actors Guild, or he's passed away now, but he always interviewed celebrities. And he always asked some questions. And I'm going to try to remember those questions because I want to start doing this. So, if you arrived at the pearly gates and God was standing there, what would you want to hear him say?
I'd have too many questions to ask first. You wouldn't have
You
time to say anything. I'd be asking so many questions.
you would. Okay. Favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Least favorite food?
Oh shit. Hmm. I would have to say meatloaf or like homemade turkey sandwiches.
I made your mom cry one time over
That's a hell of a follow-up.
over meatloaf.
I know you made her
She's
cry over coleslaw.
okay. I'll tell that story in a second. I'm going to tell the meatloaf story. So she was going to make meatloaf. She was running late, and she was so proud of her meatloaf. And she goes, "Gary, I'm running late. Can you make meatloaf tonight? I've got the hamburger in the fridge." I said, "Sure." So I made the meatloaf, and we set it on the table, and you and Ashley and Jonathan all sat down, and your mom took one bite and started crying. And I'm like, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "Your meatloaf's better than mine."
No fuck.
So she never made meatloaf again. I always had to make it after that. So the coleslaw story. We got KFC, and I love their coleslaw. So does my ex-wife. And I always got three large containers, one for me, one for her, and one for the kids. Well, I came home. I was starving. I ate all the chicken that was left. and then I ate her coleslaw. She comes home, and the first thing out of her mouth when she walks through the door is, "Oh, I'm going to have some of that leftover chicken." I said, "I ate it." She goes, "Well, at least I have my coleslaw." And I'm like, I ate that too. And she goes, "You ate my coleslaw." I never lived that one down.
She was pregnant too.
Yeah, she was pregnant. You know how I knew she was pregnant every time after you?
Why? Every
We'd
time she
go
only had
to,
one other kid after me.
we had 2 abortions.
We're just having fucking revelations tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm not proud of that.
This shit happens. There was 3 kids already at that point. Like it comes to a
No,
point where it's
there
either
was you. Hold it. No. We had, it was before you and Ashley were born. She was pregnant twice, and we had 2
oh, so I got
abortions.
lucky.
And when you came along, I said, "No, we're not doing this anymore. I can't live with that." And your mom agreed. She couldn't live with it either. But every time she was pregnant, we'd go to Skipper's, and she would eat minimum 10 pieces of fish. I couldn't believe she put so many pieces away. And when it came you up, we went to Skipper's, and she ate like 13 pieces. And I said, "You're pregnant." She goes, "No, I'm not." I said, "Yeah, you are. You're pregnant." And we went and got a test, and voila. I really want to say something
Oops,
that's going to
here's
piss you
Garrett.
off. I was going to say, "Here's Garrito."
No shit, I fucking said it. You said it first though.
I did. My son hates that name. And
So dumb. Such a dumb name.
oh my God, I'm choking. But anyway, everything we said tonight is no opinions on anything. This is just ours. We're not being paid by anybody. We're not doing this for any monetary gain or anything. We're just doing this because I want to do this, and I invited Garrett to be on the vlog or whatever, and he'll be on here again. But anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I hope I get some subscribers from this. I've got 20 subscribers, I think. But anyway, Real Life with Roadblock, and thanks for being here.